What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another Shadowlands video. I hope you're all doing very well. I have a treat. We're gonna have a treat today. Get your coffees, kick back. This is awesome. I finally got into a plus 15. I actually got into several plus 15 dungeons, and with Hero actually. So we both got into this dungeon, and we got in with a group who just wanted to run dungeons one after the other. So I'm going to release another video on a different build in a minute. Not today, but it'll be tomorrow probably. I have to do some more work on that one. But this one today, we get to run a plus 15 Halls of Atonement. Okay, and I'm running the Elemental Shaman. We are Venthyr. We are running Skybreakers. That's the build that we're trying out, and we're just gonna see like how does it function in a real Mythic Plus environment on 9.2 PTR, and how does its damage stack up and all that stuff. So get your coffee, sit back, relax. I'm gonna be reviewing myself. These are like one of my favorite videos to do because I get to laugh at myself, and we all get to join in together. So let's make sure this is set up over here. I got my notes over here. Yada, yada, yada. Let's get those in the right spot. Okay, so we're ready to go. I'm going to hit play here and let my past self take it away.
Hey guys, Zuko back with another Shadowlands video. So, we're in another dungeon. We got a plus 15 halls this time. I am playing Ele Shaman. We're doing the Primal Elementalist Fire Elemental build with Stormkeeper. We're not running Deeply Rooted
Right, so we've got... No, go back.
time. I am playing...
So we've got Master the Elements. This is really important, right? So we're not running Storm Ellie anymore, and I really want to just make a point to say that because you're not running Storm Ellie, you get to pick another talent that gets you more damage, right? And I think I've talked about this in a previous video, but like this is really important to understand that you get to pick Master the Elements, which gets you 20% more damage to your Earthquakes, or 20% more damage to your Earth Shocks, or 20% more damage to your Lightning Bolts. But either way, you're getting this 20% damage boost on all your other abilities all the time. And because of the tier set bonus for Ele Shaman, it gives us 20% more damage to Lava Burst anyway, right? So just important to remember that if you take away Storm Elemental, yeah, you're losing some damage, but you're gaining another talent, which gets you damage.
Ele Shaman. We're doing the Primal Elementalist Fire Elemental build with Stormkeeper. We're not running Deeply Rooted Elements. We're going to try Skybreakers.
So we're going to run Deeply Rooted in the next video.
This is all about Chain Harvest. It's all about getting Chain Harvest cooled down as quickly as possible and just throwing in lava bursts in between our Chain Harvest, basically.
So here's the big opening pack coming up.
Chain Harvest this time, so we're gonna see how this goes.
I think we lost this.
There we go.
I forget to lust it actually. Yep, I remember now. So you're gonna see in multiple points in the video that I get Maelstrom capped, that I forget to press my ability on my elemental. There's so many things that I do wrong here. So just know that the damage here could actually be higher. I'm just bad, and I keep forgetting to... It's all new, and I'm like, I'm trying to figure it out and press the buttons at the right time. But the point is, I'm going to mess this up quite a bit. And the other major point to make here is that this is a sustained AoE build. You can see right now in the meters, the tank is obviously right at the beginning of the pull. He's done his Divine Toll. He's doing a bunch of extra damage. The other two guys, Hero and Zoniax, are going to pull ahead of me in these burst moments when everybody has their cooldowns up and they're ready to do burst damage. That's not really our goal here. Our goal is to have sustained AoE damage. You're going to see through multiple fights in this dungeon that I will eventually end up being on top of the damage meters, or at least second, very, very close to being on top as the fight goes on, because I have that sustained damage. Hero just goes crazy here. Watch the arcane damage in a second. His Touch of the Magi just went off. Like, they're both ahead of us. Everybody's ahead of us. We're pretty close to the tank, but we will pull ahead. Everybody dies here, unfortunately. He needed to kite a bit.
The tank died.
I just get meleeed once and die. It's pretty funny. But you see our Flame Shocks are still ticking. They're doing lots of damage.
I can do Chain Harvest again, by the way.
Yep.
Even though we died.
Look at the Chain Harvest cooldown. Look at it go down. So that was
we're
a little
running
messy, but
Theatar, and we're getting the versatility buff from Theatar, the Wasteland Propriety.
so this is huge. Look at this. It gives you 6% versatility and then 3% everybody else for 14 seconds. The cooldown of Chain Harvest with the Skybreakers build is like 20 to 25 seconds. And so you basically have Wasteland Propriety up all the time, which is cool.
Here, which is pretty cool. Okay, we don't have Chain Harvest up right now, which is unfortunate, but that's okay.
Once again, we have these relics, right, that are added to so many packs, and depending on which one you kill, we're killing the relic, I think, first here. You can see it right in the middle there. The relic is going to die first. Once that relic dies, and then the other two relics die, it'll spawn an Atoma, and then you kill the Atoma, and then you get a buff. The one is actually the cooldown reduction one, and I didn't realize it at the time, but see how we're top of the damage meters now because everybody doesn't have
Here we go,
cooldowns.
Chain Harvest.
Nobody has cooldowns, but we always have our
Just feed
cooldowns
our
rolling.
Lava Burst into this big guy. Chain Harvest into Lava Burst. Keep spamming that. I'm gonna heal a bit here.
Here comes the cooldown reduction. Look at Chain Harvest. It goes down. Ding, ding, ding.
I'm gonna save Chain Harvest, even though saving Chain Harvest is like always a bad idea now, because it just comes back so quickly. But we're not gonna be able to get it back just with one guy.
So we pulled that cooldown reduction guy very inefficiently. It's not how you're supposed to do that. You want to pull it.
Guy.
You want to pull it so that you have the cooldown reduction rolling in the middle of a fight. But we figured it out later. Don't worry. This is a good pull right here. This is a big AOE, 9 targets.
Okay, we're gonna do this. Big Chain Harvest here.
So I really want to emphasize that a lot of people complain about the uncapped AOE of this Venthir build, that it can't do any damage. And this is a 9 target portion of the fight here. And you'll see that we have pretty good damage even on 9 targets with having capped AOE.
Oh no. Did I have Rocky out? Did I have my guy out? I didn't have him out, did I?
I did have him out actually.
Bad.
I just didn't realize. This is the thing. With Skybreakers, my guy never went down. Skybreakers plus the tier set, like my Fire Elemental never went down, and I just thought that I didn't have him up because I wasn't casting him, but he just never leaves.
Really short. Big Mastery right now from Theatar. Chain Harvest is back. We'll put all the Flame Shocks back out again, with our guy being out this time.
Chain Harvest number 2.
AOE.
Yep, there's our damage. We're doing 20k AOE. Chain Harvest number 2 has been cast.
Chain Harvest is back again. Holy cow, I'm gonna die, but it's out again.
Chain Harvest number
Full
3.
healing everybody.
On one fight. I get aggro.
This guy's not happy about me.
Damage goes down a bit.
Chain Harvest is back again. Gonna cast it. That was like 4 Chain Harvests in that pack. That was crazy. This is a really good pack. That's it, guys. That's what you're looking at right there. That's what this build offers. That's insane.
Yeah, that's it. That is what you're looking for.
Pop 2 and we got, oh man, it's just so good.
Okay, we're gonna pause. We're gonna move on to the 545 is what we want.
The combat. Interesting.
5. We'll go right here.
Is it good?
So there's a big mistake that I make here. I'll show you in a second. You'll hear it.
He's grabbing everything.
Big mistake coming up.
I'm gonna kick this guy. Okay. Chain Harvest. Here we go. Stunning. I didn't have my guy out. I'm such an idiot. Oh, don't do that. Don't make that mistake. Don't make that freaking mistake. Ooh. Shoot.
So I made 2 big blunders there. I like fat fingered Lust, which was pretty funny. That's why I actually usually put Lust over in a place where I have to click it, not where I can just fat finger it with my with shift 3 or whatever. So I should have done that. The bigger mistake I made was I did not have my Fire Elemental out when I pressed Chain Harvest. So when your Fire Elemental is up, all of your Flame Shocks that are subsequently applied last twice as long, do damage more quickly, and with our Skybreakers they have 50% crit. So I didn't have him out, and then I cast Chain Harvest, which adds all those Flame Shocks. So make sure before you Chain Harvest, you have your Fire guy out.
That's my bad.
And I also lusted, which was a huge mistake. But that's fine. Let's move forward. There's another big AoE pack I want to show you. 755. 7. Let's go here. Okay. This is a long, drawn-out fight. We're going to jump down the hill here, and there's like at least 10 targets, and it's a long, drawn-out fight because the mobs have lots of health, right, as you go into the higher Mythic Plus. And on top of that, we ended up pulling more guys in that we didn't want to, but you can see the power of the sustained package from Venthyr. It's
Okay.
really cool.
Dude first. Here we go. I'm gonna kill this interceptor.
So this is what's kind of neat about this build, and I probably wasn't playing this right, but you do want to press Lava Burst as much as you can, so you can essentially funnel into priority targets like the Interceptor, and then put your Earthquakes on the rest of the group over here. And you can keep bouncing back and forth. You're going to Chain Harvest, Earthquake, all these guys, and then you're going to throw your Lava Bursts into the Interceptor to have sort of that priority damage that you want.
Chain harvest. Chain harvest, chain harvest, chain harvest. Always.
This guy in particular just jumps around a lot, this Vi Interceptor, which I think this guy is the haste one. From what I'm understanding, you should just get the cooldown reduction one as much as possible.
Oh.
The cooldown reduction guy is disgusting. So we pull more here.
It.
I think my Chain Harvest pulls it. Oh no, he'd already pulled it. Braun pulled it. Somebody's Braun pulled it. Healer dies. Again, I haven't pressed my fire guy's ability. I'm just distracted right now, but there's a lot going on.
Guy. Oh.
We get the haste buff.
I'm gonna die. Gotta heal. Okay.
So the buff got changed. It's 15% haste and a bit more damage, right? So
oh, we survived. We got through that. Chain harvest is back. Here we go.
So that was a four chain harvests again in that fight, which is cool. Like you can see the power of it, right? In like a 2-minute encounter, you're casting it 4 times. That's crazy. That's really, really strong. Good AoE damage, good healing.
Holy cow, we survived. That's nuts.
Okay, one more.
Really crazy.
Let's move forward. Move forward to here. Another sustained AoE. I'm going to talk about the rotation here.
Shoot, we didn't have our guy up, right? That's my fault.
I did have him up.
When he's up.
I just couldn't tell.
We're kind of just pressing Lava Burst into Earthquake. Like, that's a lot of what I'm doing. Yes, I'm pressing Chain Lightning when I should be pressing it. But it's like Chain Harvest into Lava Bursts into Earthquake. Because, like, your AoE comes from... I don't know. It's just interesting. You don't cast Chain Lightning nearly as much.
Yeah, and this is true. And you're constantly hovering around 13 to 15k sustained AoE. This is how it works. This is what this build does. You get so much Maelstrom because you're getting so many free Lava Surge procs that you should be casting. And then those translate into 20% stronger Earthquakes with Master the Elements, and then your Chain Harvest just comes off cooldown all the time. So it's like, there's just a really cool combo there.
But you don't need to. You want to be extending your Elemental. You want to be getting the cooldown on Chain Harvest with all the Flame Shock stuff. So you want to just take advantage of the 20% more damage you're getting from your...
Right? So Lava Burst does 20% more damage. Casting Lava Burst makes your Fire Elemental extend, which he's just passive. He makes all your Flame Shocks do more damage, and he gives you the Meteor.
Tier set. I don't know, man. There's just a lot of reasons to press Lava Burst.
Yeah, it's
good.
Which
I realize in AoE it sounds like a dumb idea, except that you get your AoE from Chain Harvest, and you're getting it from, like, other sources, so...
Okay, so here's the first boss fight, right? Yeah. Halkus boss fight. Yeah, you're gonna see. We start the fight behind on damage, but it evens out because that's the way the build works. Another really important thing I need to add here is that every single boss now in Mythic Plus has an AoE pack at the beginning of it, which is super cool. And even once these 3 relics die, which they do pretty quickly, it's a cleave fight then, depending on which relic you've killed. But there's an Automa that spawns, so it becomes a cleave fight for like a good minute.
This into Chain Harvest.
which is really good for AoE specs and specs that have cleave. It's just awesome.
Okay, this will
So
be a better, like, you know, we'll figure out if this is really good or not on single target. Obviously, it's going to be worse. We just know that right away, but that's okay.
Hero and Zoniax are way ahead of me at the beginning. Zoniax is way ahead of me. Hero and I are a little closer. I start to catch up though over the
Trying to
course of
kill
the
the
fight.
big guy.
Zoniax has his burst right off the bat. With 2-target cleave though, with double flame shocks, our chain harvest cooldown goes down really quickly. You can see it counting down on the bottom there.
Good. Got him. Now we get a haste buff. What do we get?
So what we should have grabbed here was the cooldown reduction buff instead of the haste buff. Just like it's just a no-brainer, especially on like a mage and an Ele shaman. And for a paladin as well with divine toll. Divine toll is like you can cast it like 3 times, I think, in the cooldown reduction window that you get from that Atoma. So craziness.
Oh.
So you see the fights going on, and our damage is starting to even out. And that's just what I wanted to sort of talk about, is that this has a consistent damage that you can always rely on. There's no way to really mess it up.
We got Flame Man coming up here. We're going to cast him.
Let's move forward, though. 1745, there's a really cool interaction here that I want to show. We end up getting the stealth buff, which I think is the Woe Relic. You can see right in the middle of your screen there, the Woe Relic. So we're going to get him, and when you kill him, you're going to get a stealth buff. So we have the Woe Atoma, because we killed the Woe Relic first. Okay. So watch what happens.
This is probably the stealth. This is the stealth buff here that he grabbed. So this is going to be really cool. You're going to see the stealth right here. Watch. Look at this. This is so cool. We got it. This is the skip.
This is like the coolest thing they've added.
That is so cool.
In my opinion.
I love that. Oh, that's super cool, man.
You don't need a rogue skip, right? You just get to do this now. You can there's all these relics are all over the dungeons, guys. There's like 20 of them in every dungeon, and it's like you get to pick and choose which buff when you want to use it. It's such a great design. I can't get over how good it is. Here's the next boss fight. Again, more AoE. Zoniax will be ahead at the beginning.
That's so cool. Like, what a cool mechanic. Are you kidding me? It's done. It's fine. I'm going to kill the priority guy here.
So I sort of mismanaged Chain Harvest.
It's a really bad time to press Chain Harvest because I could have waited for the ads, but it's fine. I wanted to get the buff.
I don't actually know. I think that was an okay time to cast it.
Buff instead of the stealth buff. We don't need the stealth buff. So like, we just got that amazing stealth buff to the boss. It's so cool. So cool.
We should have picked the cooldown reduction buff.
Like, what a neat thing you can do.
But the cool thing about this is you can pick and choose. Like if you're just if you're a group of people that don't really have major cooldowns, like the 10-second cooldown reduction wouldn't benefit you as much, then maybe that's okay to not take the cooldown reduction buff, get the haste one instead. But I think almost every single class universally is going to want the cooldown reduction buff, especially classes that have 3-minute cooldowns or like a 4-minute meta from Demon Hunters. Can you imagine? Like their 4-minute meta would almost go all the way down to 0, or at least you would take like 2 to 3 minutes off of the cooldown of their meta, which is disgusting. Like it's just so strong.
We're gonna have Chain Harvest back. We're gonna have it back. Get one more Flame Shock out. Watch this.
Watch when I cast Chain Harvest here. Here it comes.
Chain Harvest.
Look at the cooldown.
Huge.
It went to 39 seconds. Like, I cast it, and 3 seconds later, it was at 39 seconds.
Damage. And we almost got our Chain Harvest back just from that, like, one cast and, like, 2 ticks of friggin' Flame Shock.
That was...
back now. It's
genuinely, that was like 8 seconds, right? Let's count it, actually. Like, I want to count it.
And we... Chain Harvest.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
and we almost got our Chain
9,
back just from that,
10,
like, one
11,
and, like, 2 ticks
12,
Flame Shock.
13. There, it's about 13 seconds.
We have it back now. It's back.
That was 13 seconds. It's a minute and a half cooldown. It went down to 13 seconds there. That's how strong that is. Okay, that's good. This is this boss. Nothing too
I
crazy
know he's
happens
gonna
here.
summon ads right now, but it doesn't matter.
We
You
do
need
about
the
eight,
damage, you need the healing.
almost 8K
You need to
overall,
just
which is
get it
good.
out. We'll have it up again for this pack. It's up every 20 seconds, guys. It's every 25 seconds. You can cast it. Big coolies. Okay.
So watch this. This
Whatever.
pull here is important to see. We don't have Chain Harvest up, so our damage is pretty bad at the beginning.
These are
But
coolies. I
again,
don't have huge coolies.
we even it out over
Use the Earth
time.
guy.
The sustained AoE. I also have
We got
Earth
the
Ellie.
big primal guy. We'll keep him up for a bit.
He kills the Vi relic first, so this is the cool. No, Ur's the cooldown. Vi's the haste, I think. So
Okay, time for the fire guy. Here we go.
our damage is pretty bad. I understand that, but it'll even out.
I'm trying to heal the tank. Chain harvest.
Again, by the end of that pull, we pull into
Yeah, that
second
was
place
awesome.
there for damage.
That was
You
awesome.
can see. It's just interesting how that works. Okay, we're gonna skip ahead. I think we make a big blunder here and we die. We're gonna skip ahead to 2740.
Back.
27. Here we go. Next boss. So we do get the big CDR
We got
buff
buffs. Way to
here.
go.
Watch this. We kill the relic.
Get the chain harvest out to get the cooldown.
Relic goes down.
Look at
All the
damage
relics
we're
go down. Here comes the Automa. I have 2 flame shocks out, so the chain harvest cooldown goes down pretty quick. Watch what happens when he dies. I think I mess it up, but I should
Okay, what
cast
do we
Chain
get?
Harvest
Haste, probably?
right now. Chain Harvest.
Big damage.
Watch Chain Harvest cooldown. Look at it go!
Oh, we got cooldown reduction. Oh my god, look at chain harvest. Look at it
Yeah,
go down.
I needed to cast it sooner, but
Wait,
anyway.
it was going down faster before. Oh, it was only 10 seconds of the cooldown reduction. Dang, that one's crazy though. Did you see it was like brrrring? Oh man.
So we get a better version of that later, but you can see our damage on bosses is okay, guys. There's nothing wrong with this. It's fine.
Almost died. That volley of power, I guess we have to kick that.
I did about 8.6 on that
We can't
overall.
just kill him. We
So.
gotta do.
Then we do this whole room here, and 30. Oh, 3045. Watch this. We kill the Automa again, and we get the cooldown reduction. And this time I'm paying attention. So they're killing them over on the left here. I'm trying to get rid of these extra ads. There's the Automa. He's going to die in a second. Cooldown reduction.
Did we get cooldown reduction? We did. Look at the cooldown of chain harvest. Look at it. I'm gonna press it again as soon as it comes off. Watch the cooldown of chain harvest. Ding, 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 ding. Look at it go down.
It's so good.
That's crazy. Oh my god, that's crazy. It's still going. Oh, it's done now. The buff lasts for like 10 seconds, I think.
It's so cool.
Oh my god, that was crazy.
This change right here, the Automa thing, I think is going to single-handedly potentially break Mythic Plus. Like the people who understand how to use this correctly are going to completely destroy Mythic Plus. But the reality is, for the rest of us, it's going to be just a lot of friggin' fun. It's so much fun to have this. Imagine if you're playing Enhancement Shaman and you were playing the Wolf build and you cast your wolves and then the cooldown goes down and your Maelstrom makes them go down and then you cast them again and then the cooldown goes down and your Maelstrom stacks are making it go down with Witch Doctor Wolfbones. Like you could have like 6 wolves out at a time. There's some really crazy stuff you could do there, which is super cool. So every class has something that can benefit from this cooldown reduction thing. And the fact that it's like a little small 10-second window means you have to be very deliberate about how you're doing it. But it's awesome. Like it's actually just awesome and it's so much fun to play with.
That's really cool. So guys, that's what you get with the cooldown reduction Atoma. If you kill the cooldown reduction Atoma, you get the crazy cooldown.
Yeah, we know. Shh, I just told him that. Quiet. Okay, boss time.
That's cool.
Final boss time. Again, there's AoE on every boss. You get to cleave here once again. My fire ellie's still up. Chain harvest. Again, the other classes get ahead of us here a little bit, but we have a good start this time. We have the Uratoma again. I'm not pressing my meteor. I'm so sad about that. Oh my god, finally. Here comes the cooldown.
Okay, so here we go. We got a buff. Is it the cooldown one? I think it is. No, it's haste. It's cooldown. Look at my cooldowns. Look at the cooldown. Look at Chain Harvest go. It's only one target, which is why it's not going as quick as it was before. But we're getting a little bit of it still.
You can
That's
see how
cool.
powerful that is, though. Just
Man,
imagine.
cool.
Just imagine whatever class you're
We're
playing.
getting wrecked by the.
If you have a 2-minute cooldown with the Uratoma there, you can basically get 3 casts of your ability off, I think. If you cast it right away. You could get 2.5. So again, we started behind on the damage meters. Now we are ahead on the damage meters.
Whew.
Because the fight is lasting longer, and that's just how our build works. Meteor. Press Meteor, dude.
Let's heal everybody here. Big heal. Give them versatility.
I bet you I missed like 5 or 6 meteors in this dungeon. Probably more. It's so bad, dude.
That's
I'm
cool.
also not pressing my trinket. There we go. Trinket, thank you. So you can see I could do way more damage in this whole dungeon.
He's going to do his AoE thing one more time. We just have to live it. I don't have a defensive this time. I'm going to summon my guy.
I put Rocky out for 20% more health here. You can see I have 64k.
I'm going to heal with Chain Harvest here.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's good.
Then I get my fire guy back out again, because I want the damage on Flame Shock.
So this is the only time when your fire elemental will go down a little bit. He might go down because you don't have AoE to get all the Lava Surge procs to keep him up forever. In AoE situations, you do, of course.
This actually isn't true. I thought it was kind of true, but I thought about it later, and it's not true. Because of the tier set bonus, when you press Lava Burst, you extend your Fire Alley. So the only reason I lost my Fire Alley in this fight is because I summoned my Earth Alley in order to survive the AoE, like the big damage that was coming in, give myself more health. So the reality is that with this build that's focused more on pressing Lava Burst, you will continuously extend your Fire Alley, and he'll never go down.
But
even in single target. I get hit here.
Gotta watch out for that. I was not in that. Get out of here.
Yeah, you were. There you go, guys.
Oh, he hit his own. That's funny. Nice. All right. I know we were over time, but there was just a lot of messy stuff going on there, and people hadn't played their builds before. There's some Cosmic Flux. Tank's gonna die. Yeah, he died.
This happens to so many tanks.
That's funny. That was good. That was really fun. That's Skybreakers. Let's see how many times we cast Chain Harvest. 56 times.
Yeah. So let me look at the timing of the dungeon. I can't. I think I looked at the calculator later.
The surge procs to keep him up forever. In AoE All right, I know we were you get a dot at the 60. That's funny. 56 casts of Chain Harvest. This is.
Does it show uptime there?
This is crazy.
I think on average it was a 30-second cooldown of Chain Harvest. So I do eventually look at the overall time in the dungeon. I forget why I can't check it right now. But the point is, I know I checked it later and it was like It was like just under 30 minutes, I think, for the dungeon timer, or maybe it might have been like 30 minutes on the whole, which means the cooldown of Chain Harvest was like 30 seconds to like 32 seconds. So that is what you can expect from this build from Skybreakers. Is you're going to get a 30-second cooldown on Chain Harvest, sometimes less, sometimes more. It'll even out to be about that. And it enables the rest of your build. I mean, this is how this build works. You cast Chain Harvest on cooldown. You get 5 Flame Shocks. All those Flame Shocks are 50% crit. They last twice as long because of your Fire Ellie, and they do damage 25% quicker because of your Fire Ellie. Don't ever press Chain Harvest without your Fire Elemental being up. On top of that, because you have 5 Flame Shocks out, you're getting Lava Surge procs. Your Lava Bursts all do 20% more damage because of your tier set. So you just send those in. Every single time you press Lava Burst, you get a Master of the Elements proc, which makes your next Earthquake do 20% more damage. That's the rotation. Chain Harvest, get the Flame Shocks out, get your Lava Surge procs, get your Earthquake down. That's how it works. You end up doing lots and lots of damage. Obviously, in between there, you're using Stormkeeper, and you are pressing Chain Lightning. It's not that you don't press Chain Lightning. You see the Chain Lightning overload here, still doing 7.5% of our damage, and Chain Lightning itself doing 5%, so that's like 12. That's even above our Flame Shock damage. But it's the other pieces of this puzzle that are really cool. All this Flame Shock damage is free, and all the crits you're getting are just like free from Chain Harvest, and they cool down Chain Harvest. So it's a really fun, complete package. You could see on single target, it was okay. It wasn't fantastic. There's certainly better builds on single target, but it was fine. It was passable because of the tier set bonus. It really buffs your single target. And on AoE, it was great. We had a couple of pulls that were 10, 9, 10 targets, and we were doing 20 to 22k DPS. So this build is perfectly fine moving into 9.2. It works really well, and I know you guys are going to love it. So that's it. That's Skybreakers in a plus 15 halls. I'm going to show you a video tomorrow on deeply rooted elements with the exact same setup here. We're going elemental, we go deeply rooted elements, and it's just as good, if not better, than Skybreakers. And we actually end up timing the halls because we don't have that big blunder in the middle that I skipped for you guys. So stay tuned for that. Tomorrow we're going to check out Deeply Rooted Elements. That's Skybreakers, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I think we're going to have so much fun in 9.2 with all these builds. So once again, thank you for all the support. Like and subscribe if you like this content and you want to see more. And I will see you in the next one.